Thank you. Thank you. The audience is clearly pleased with what was said here tonight. I encourage people to stay. We do want to have a question period. And as such, we will take questions from the audience. We need to keep them brief and to the point. It's not a big, long conversation, but we need to have some questions. Okay, I see 3 hands. We'll start with the one I saw waving at the back there first.
Was Mark Cannon invited?
Yes, we did send invitations to him. In fact, I know that Heidi Osterman saw him outside of Choices last week and directly gave him information inviting him tonight. He knows. I don't think he's here. Ron, are you here? No, he's our MP for the area. You, Dwight?
Yeah, if not one of you two, perhaps somebody here could say, either the U.S. Supreme Court or the Canadian Supreme Court, has it been tested as a charter challenge or a Bill of Rights challenge? Do we have a right to have all our food labeled like they do in Europe? I don't know if it's ever even been legally tested.
This is not even a question with all due respect, because once a product is approved by Health Canada or US FDA, all that information is printed on the label of the product, that it contains these are ingredients and what the consequences could be. So to demand label on the final product to say only GM is totally unnecessary as far as I'm concerned, because it's not just the GM final product that's going to do the damage. It's all this process to get there, and it's out there, and all the damage being done to the environment, to the water, to the soil, to the microflora, to the microfauna. All those things are, it's a full technology. All that has to be recognized and has to be labeled. So some people are saying, label it. What would that do? It doesn't do anything for me, labeling. The GMO, this technology has to be banned.
Yeah.
So first I'd like to applaud both of you for your concern for health and the environment and for preventing corporations from meddling with our regulatory agencies behind closed doors. It seems to me we've all been part of a massive experiment. We're all guinea pigs, which is a terrible thing, maybe. But it's also useful. So all you have to do, right, is compare disease rates in North America, where millions of pounds of GMOs have been consumed, to disease rates in Britain and other countries in Europe, Asia, where none have been consumed. And look at, the increase in cancer rates, increase in autism. And if you do that, you'd expect to find massive increases in cancer and autism here, but you don't.
Oh, you do?
No, if you look at the data, the increases are the same in cancer, in autism.
Sir, you're wrong. There is no such study.
As well.
That's true. It's totally untrue what you're saying.
Just look at
Dr. Brain already said there is no study. You can't do study when there are 10 factors and then say, oh, this is related to that, or somebody says this is caused by mercury, somebody says that aluminum. You have 20 different things. You have to design a proper epidemiological study with all the factors. You can't just stand here, there's no difference between cancer rate in India and the United States or autism there. This is completely untrue what you're saying.
But it's because of facts like this that the consensus opinion of biological experts is that GMOs are no more dangerous than conventional.
Okay, fine. If you believe that, you talk to these people. I've stated my case. I'm not going to argue with you. That's all. I've told you my story, and I want to rest there. I'm not here to argue that You have done the study, or neither you nor I have done that study.
Well, I've looked at the summary studies of, nearly 2,000 papers. I'm sort of interested in what Dr. Brain has to say about, for example, the Napoleon.
The genetic engineering technology is not in use in Europe. They do not grow the crop mostly. I mean, they have grown the crops in some of the countries here and there. Mostly it's banned or regulated. They do import a lot of engineered grain in Europe to feed their animals. And of course, the herbicide Roundup is definitely in use there. So, and it has been, and Roundup definitely has an effect on all those symptoms that I mentioned. So your comment is appreciated, but I don't think you can't compare Europe and say, oh, Europe is very clean, and all of North America is not at all, therefore there should be huge differences. It doesn't work, it doesn't quite work that way.
You would only attribute those effects to the Roundup and not,
Sorry.
you would only attribute those effects to the Roundup and not to
They do
GMOs per
import
se.
a lot of engineered grain, I said, yes.
Well, but not for human consumption.
No, they're not in humans, but the residues are. And Roundup has been shown to cause those symptoms, yes, absolutely. That's like, you can argue with that if you want, but I don't think it is arguable in my sense.
There are other differences too between Europe and North America. It's not just GMOs. There are other products in our food supply which are not present in the European food supply. Those are hormones, antibiotics, slaughterhouse waste, and then GMOs and pesticides. 4 of those are not allowed in Europe. They still have pesticides, and even the pesticides are being removed. Sweden has removed 80 pesticides, and this move is going on all over the world. These issues have been debated for the past 20, 25 years in the World Trade Organization. They're not settled, and this goes on. So therefore, when you involve all those factors, that makes, regardless of the GMOs, our food here the most toxic on earth.
I'm very happy to reduce pesticide use, absolutely, and I think GMOs are one of the ways we can do that.
But GMOs don't go by themselves.
There was a question on this side of the big place. I believe your question from where to. Who was it? Carrying this up. This gentleman here. Okay, we'll get this.
My question is regarding something I noticed this summer when I spent part of the summer and fall in a grain growing area of Alberta. In the early part of the growing season, they spray everything to kill weeds. And they don't need to worry about a late harvest season because around the end of August, they spray the crops that are green with some chemical, and within 3 or 4 days, they're brown,